And I just want to say this might be comical to you.
You know, you can't look away. And that's what essentially breasts do to people. You look at them.
All they are doing is reinventing the stupidity of PETA from 20 years ago, step by step. They're catching up with the same lame methods, the same non-functional techniques that PETA used, and they're going to get the same non-results.
You might watch this and start to feel uncomfortable or cringe.
I'm nervous, like the adrenaline is starting to rise up. It's now like the frisson in the air, you know.
Me and my friends, like, we really want our bodies obviously to be honored, but also our minds and our spirits, and we don't want to just have these like casual flings with people. And even if we do, like, we want to actually also be able to have a conversation and enjoy the company of the person who we may be hooking up with casually.
Maybe you could tell me a little bit about this action scene. What's the kind of the purpose of it?
So the female body is censored a lot of the time, and breasts are sexualized, and they're not seen as a natural and accepted thing to view in public. So what we're doing today is seeing whether we're going to get censored or not.
And so when these guys are sliding into their messages and stuff, just asking for nudes or not wanting to talk unless it's sexual, it's funny just watching them kind of like curve all of them or just be like, yeah, I'm looking for actual human interaction and conversation along with all this, so if that's not you right now, then I'm not going to waste my time.
So what we're doing today is being very, very obvious. You know, you can't look away. And that's what essentially breasts do to people. You look at them.
A lot of people are trying to navigate that right now. A lot of people are horny, alone in their apartments or stuck with their families, and they're like, what do I do? I was like that for sure the first 2 weeks, and then I realized how happy I am not having any distractions, male or female. And I've been doing a lot of work with my own sexual energy. I've been spending all this time alone. I haven't been obsessing over another person or another thing. I've really been giving my energy to the present moment.
We're not censoring our nipples here. This is our body. There's a vulnerability and a power there at the same time. So the power is in doing something that's unacceptable perhaps, or unexpected, or against the status quo. But the vulnerability here is us in our skin laid bare.
Even just reading, like I read all the books that I want to read now, and it's really interesting to just kind of ask yourself, what does my mind spend the most time focusing on? And I think that relationships can be something that's really distracting, you know, love, like seeking it or recovering from bad heartbreak or just even being horny, like all these things can really take up a lot of space in our brains.
If you're very rich, you might escape for, 10, 20 years. Perhaps it could be less when the food shortages begin and the water shortages begin and the wars increase and the social order just disappears. So, yeah, we're all vulnerable. We're all laid bare. We're all naked in the face of this clear and present danger that most people won't look at. They don't have the courage.
And I just want to say this might be comical to you. You might watch this and start to feel uncomfortable or cringe, but the more that I did it, the easier it got. And it was just like the fear getting in the way, and that's why I was kind of like cringing at myself. So if you are cringing at this, try it. Do exactly what I'm doing and liberate yourself, like get past that wall.
The year is 1989. I walk into a movie studio with a pitch, an idea for a new science fiction movie. Say, imagine this. It's the future. It's the year 2020. And people live under this bizarre political regime that they think of as a democracy. But in fact, the only people whose political opinions matter, the leaders of our society, the activists, the intellectuals, the dissidents, are selected not on the basis of their intelligence, not on the basis of their education, on the basis of who is most sexually attractive. It's a dystopian science fiction future society. And the guy I'm pitching to, he sits there, he says, okay, so I'm seeing this like, they have a series of beauty pageants, Like these men and women, they stand forward to be judged, and like, you know what, they're so like instead of running for election in Congress or something, there's actually like, you know, a competition for who's the most beautiful, who's the most handsome. No, that's the part you don't get. It's decentralized. Millions of people sitting in their living rooms, whipping out these mobile computer devices while they're lifting weights at the gym. Millions of people everywhere with millions of little mouse clicks and selections with their thumbs on electronic devices. They decide who's the most handsome. They decide who's the most beautiful, who's the most sexually attractive. They decide who will be listened to, who will be the leaders of political movements, whose opinion matters. And yet here we are in the year 2020. And the other metric, the other thing people must measure up to make their opinions count in politics is to have the shamelessness to step forward and display their body, draw attention to themselves, and make clear their political, moral, religious purpose to attract this following to themselves. The last time I addressed this in a YouTube video, the example was Rachel Ziegler. You're going to find her on Instagram as Rachel DXE. She made her claim to fame by getting on stage with Bernie Sanders naked. We covered that. We discussed the politics of that in some depth. And today, she has 2,900 followers on Instagram. That may not sound like a lot to you. Millions of people live their whole lives wishing they had 2,900 admirers. Oh yeah, you can take a look at Hitomi Mochizuki here. She has 250,000 on Instagram. Actually, a small number compared to the number of people who watch her YouTube videos, strangely. She's got a huge platform. She's got a huge audience. She's got people to pay her just to listen to her meditation instructions. She's in some ways a kind of ethical and religious leader, all on the basis of her physical beauty. Is it possible to be a good person who benefits by being a part of a bad system? Would you want to be respected? Would you want to be renowned? Would you want to be an important leader in a political movement because of the size of your boobs? The demonstration that I featured in the intro to this video from Extinction Rebellion. Think about how the women were selected to be a part of this nude demonstration. Think about how they took on a leadership role. Were they selected because they were the most highly educated, the most erudite, even the best at public speaking? Were they chosen because they've read Aristotle? Were they chosen because of their scientific understanding of climate change and ecology? No. They were chosen because of their physical appearance, in this case, most definitely including the size of their breasts, and their boldness, their willingness to live up to that other metric, their willingness to bare their breasts in pursuit of this kind of social media fame and in the name of a particular political cause. Money, fame, power, respect, sex. These are the powerful motives shaping human behavior in politics, in our private lives, in the economic sphere, but yes, y'all, especially here on social media, especially on the internet. Let me go through that list one more time for you. Money, fame, power, respect, sex. Not necessarily in that order. For some people, sex is the top priority. For some people, it's money or the fame. You can shuffle that deck of cards and each time have a different one come up on top. This is not about saving the planet. This is not about lobbying government for political reform. This is not about promoting the health benefits of a vegan diet. This is not about educating people, doing educational outreach so that they understand the unbelievable suffering that the dairy industry creates, that the fur industry creates, the unbelievable suffering that's required just to put meat on their plate. No, nope. This is about money, fame, power, respect, sex. And you know what this headline fails to convey to you? This whole article fails to convey to you. There were actually 4 protesters that ran the stage. 4. But 3 of them didn't get naked. Who's this woman? Who's this Muslim fundamentalist woman? She looks like she's at least 100 pounds overweight. I guess she's a Muslim fundamentalist vegan protester? Why isn't she getting naked? Why is it only this girl? I mean, look, we got to talk about the politics of beauty and body image rolled into this too. Priya is the first one to run the stage fully clothed. Well, if you actually believe that getting naked would save the animals, what? This Muslim woman, she doesn't care enough to show us her 100-pound overweight, middle-aged or elderly body? I can't really guess her age. Is it only young, conventionally attractive people who are going to get naked to save the planet? Is there some reason why? Is it actually about being sexually attractive? Is that the point of this? Is it supposed to be an erotic display? And what about this girl? This girl just participated in the protest but decided, nope, I'm not showing my body. If you look, I can't say that she's wearing pants. She's not wearing trousers. She doesn't have any pockets there for her house keys or her wallet. I mean, you know, she is as close to naked as can possibly be. She's wearing some kind of skin-tight yoga pants. You know, I can't call those pants at all. That's some kind of long underwear she's got on there to add to the revealing or erotic effect, I guess, of her being as nude as possible. And again, it's not the middle-aged people, it's not the educated people, it's not the natural leaders of the vegan movement who are taking on this role, of course. No. I mean, what's the next step for this, guys? What is the future of veganism? This group, Direct Action Everywhere, they initialized their name as DXE, Direct Action Everywhere. They came onto the scene promising that they had something profoundly, fundamentally better to offer than any other animal rights movement in the past. And all they are doing is reinventing the stupidity of PETA from 20 years ago, step by step. They're catching up with the same lame methods, the same non-functional techniques that PETA used, and they're going to get the same non-results. But the one thing they will get is the one thing they really want: money, fame, power, respect, sex. All these people are on an ego trip, and I'm sure if you could travel back in time to 1992, there were a whole lot of people in that organization, PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, who are on the same ego trip, reinventing the wheel, but it's a broken wheel, and it's going to roll down the same hill with the same results.